That we do.
Now I've completely lost whatever track of thought
I know, bro.
I'm completely.
So I broke the momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely did that one.
So do you guys think that do you agree with me that one day we're gonna plug ourselves into the system?
I do it right now.
You would right now.
Right now.
Plug yourself in to a
As long as I didn't have to worry about working or money, I would do it right now.
This is what I think is going to happen. People are going to go to work, and instead of coming home and watching TV, they're going to plug themselves into the network.
Why would they have to leave their house if the network was?
They wouldn't have to leave their house. The network's in your house.
Was so good that you could work while being plugged in.
Because you probably wouldn't be able to.
Why would you?
Why not?
How would you?
Why
you would plug yourself in, and virtually you would be at work.
So you're going to plug yourself in, and your body's going to be able to.
Work would be a video game. Say.
If that.
I don't know. I don't know if you've ever guys have
careful.
ever seen it before. The no pixel Grand Theft Auto 5. Basically, these people are living lives inside of a video game, and because the police have to be powerful in order to keep the server in balance, because there's a lot of criminals and there's a lot of cops. Now they do actual literal investigations. They go to crime scenes. They take a camera. They can see the bullet shells and stuff. They take pictures of it. They do blood samples. If there's blood on the ground, they can tell.
How do they do blood samples?
They know whose blood it was that got shot there.
How?
This is how they do it. Do you see how in depth and
right? But my question is how? How are they able to take a blood sample, send it to the fucking DNA lab or whatever, and be like, oh yeah, this is fucking
they don't have to use
positive.
They don't have to go to the DNA lab. They know exactly who it is.
I'm going to break your whole theory here. Have you ever played The Evil Within 2? Or even The Evil Within 1?
I have not.
When there's a collective mind, one person's a psychopath. And when one person's a psychopath, that breaks the whole structure of the whole entire fucking cyber connectivity there.
But here's the one thing that I'm just speaking.
If someone has a powerful mind, they're going to take over the whole entire network.
I don't know if it's necessarily a powerful mind, but they have to have the power to do it.
Have you played The Evil Within?
I have not. So
it's a fucked up game.
This is where I'm going with it.
I made it through, I guess, the first part, first level.
And it makes sense, because one day we're going to be plugged into virtual reality, and imagine how many minds are going to be plugged into that. And if you're plugged into that and someone can hack that, and they're a psychopath, think about that. And you can't get out because if they unplug you, you die.
I have not seen
that. Yeah, you didn't think about that theory, did you?
Well,
I've also now you're saying if you just unplug the cord from your head, you die.
Right.
That's a very, very stretch.
If someone hacks the network...
Disconnect.
If someone hacks the network...
It's basically the same thing.
Then you're fried.
Think about,
if you don't have the energy...
Let's say, for instance, Comcast, the service goes out, right?
Right.
Guess what? Just because the Comcast service went out, I don't die. I'm still alive.
But it's not plugged into your head now, is it?
But if it was.
Okay, well, if this was plugged into your head... and
that is a huge step. That is a huge leap.
Well, that's what I'm fucking talking about. If you're plugging into the virtual reality world and you have a neurochip in your head...
Well, I've already told you that I will personally not get any kind of chip inserted into my body or computer.
Well, then you'll just be left behind like they're doing right now. Like with the coronavirus,
Would I really be left behind? Say 90% of the...
You can't go to restaurants.
Careful.
Right. You can't do this. You can't do that. They're going to eventually just take your whole life and turn it upside down until you commit to what they want you to do.
We can still do whatever the fuck we want.
Say 90%. Understand what I'm saying, right?
As long as you don't live in New York.
Eventually, they're going to use things like this. Isn't necessarily.
They're going to try to, but
this isn't necessarily a rule.
It's
but
not going to fucking stick.
Without doing X,
quite frankly,
your life is going to be total shit.
Quite frankly, very least, this last year has been a submissive test as to what
they can control,
what people are willing to do.
You
and willing to put up.
Absolutely, we talked about
And
this already.
and it's obvious that at certain times you're seeing these lines that they try to push, and then it's just not working out for them, so they back off just a hair, and then they try something else, and they just keep on pushing in certain directions.
Well, it's not necessarily even lines. It's more of a narrative that they try to push, and then they try and create lines and see how far they can actually push that line with the narrative that they have created.
Right. Which is basically...
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, these people have the power, and they're acting like...
Do they have the power?
And they're acting like 13-year-olds.
Yeah, because they keep the majority in this little fucking...
They're acting like teenagers.
Even though we see it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the tiny minority...
The people out there see it too. I know this. If
Right.
you believe you see it, drop a comment down below. Remember to like, share, and...
Subscribe.
Please hit that fucking bell button, dude. God
Fair
damn.
enough. Back to it. Go on.
I personally would like to think that I have faith in humanity to the point where...
I already shut you off, man.
You already shut me off? About having faith in humanity?
I'm kidding.
I try to look on the brighter side.
Are you optimistic?
I am optimistic that I don't want to talk about the things that are happening right now. But people would be able to see through that. A majority of people.
No, the minority of people can see through that. The majority just are blind. Have you watched anything?
Sheep.
that's going on?
The majority
The
of
sheep.
people are sheep.
And they've always
Let's
been
be
sheep.
honest.
I
The
don't.
ancient philosophers always talked about the herd. And they've always been there, dude. The minority are the outcasts, and they've been miserable their entire
They can
life.
actually think for themselves, by the way.
Right. But you're miserable. The negative aspect of being independent thinker is that you're just miserable the rest of your life because you don't think with the herd. And that's...
Well, I get out.
I'm okay with that.
I get out of being miserable by being optimistic.
Are you?
Yes, I am optimistic.
About what? Life is pointless and meaningless.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, then what is so pointless or point?
And now we're going into a different direction.
Well, I'm just asking you. A simple question.
You want to run down this fucking philosophical fucking path this week. I mean, what's your point? Make your point.
I'm going to hear what you
No,
guys
make
say.
your point.
I am. What is...
You're not. You're asking him a question. Make your point.
What is meaningless about... What is meaningful about life?
To continue the human race.
So survive, reproduce.
Right.
And then what is the end goal of that?
To
At the
continue.
same point in time, there's
It's
8
a
billion other
never-ending loop.
motherfuckers out there that can do that.
It's a
Right.
never-ending loop.
Right, so we're parasitic, like I said before then, right?
Then everything in the world is parasitic.
Right.
Every single thing that's ever existed is
So I'm
parasitic.
right on that then.
If that's your point of view on it,
Well,
I
then
don't
what's your
see
point
it
of view on it?
to continue to exist.